Hello and welcome to the session on recurring payments with payments to us. During this session, we will go through entering an online payment and having that create all of the back-end recurring payment details. We'll show you how you can update a card holder's details. We'll also show you the behind the scenes setup and options on the payment forms that you can configure. And finally, we'll end up with setting up a manual recurring payment from within inside Salesforce. Currently, Payment to Us supports 4 different types of recurring payments. These are credit card recurring payments, direct debit recurring payments, automated check or e-check recurring payments, and payment schedules, which are like invoice or on invoice recurring payments. We'll start the session by entering a brand new person into our system for taking of payments. This will be for Eloy Braton, just a made up person's name and address, and obviously phone number. We enter his email address and core details. 19 King Street. We're going to select a custom choice to donate each month. We'll be donating monthly, so that's going to create the regular giving details, and we'll put the credit card and test CCV, continue, and we'll then select pay now. What will happen is within inside Salesforce, if we go to the payment transactions tab, select today's transactions, and then click into the most recent one here, we can see this is for Eloy. We can see all of the details that have been created online. So if I click into Eloy's contact record, this is his contact record. We scroll down the screen. I can see the first opportunity was created for the first payment that was made, and I can click into the recurring payment details. Click into the recurring payment details. You can see that it's linked to a merchant facility. You can see that it's also linked to Eloy. It's currently set as active. We can see that the last payment date was made today, and then I can see the next one is going to be made in 1 month's time. We can see the frequency is monthly. So if you wanted to stop this particular payment, we can click on the status here and simply change this to no longer inactive, and then that would not be included for next time. If you wanted to adjust the the day of the month, simply update the day of the month. If you want to change the frequency, simply update the frequency. You can see this one was set through here as a donation amount. If you wanted to change that amount, you simply can. You'll notice here that we do not store the full credit card details. We use tokens for billing. So no, never at any stage do we store the details inside Salesforce. We only use a token. So it's a token that is used for the ongoing recurring payments. What happens is we have a recurring payment processor that wakes up every morning in the early hours and sort of checks to see if there's any recurring payments that are active, that have an amounts in here, that have a next payment date on or before today's date. If it does, what that will then do is it will generate a new payment transaction and will update the card holders. The card is, will charge the card and mark the payment as complete. If for some reason the payment did fail, then what we do is we update a retry attempt, and this will get increased each time it fails. The next day, the recurring payment processor will again try to charge the card. If it was successful, it will mark it as success. Obviously, it will update the retry attempts. We can set the retry attempts to the number of times we require, but if they are exceeded, then the card will be put onto inactive or suspended maximum number of retries exceeded. What you can then do is you can contact the card holder and get them to phone in with their new details. You can click this button here that will ask for the card number CCV that will retokenize the card and store it against the system. If the card has simply just expired, you only need to get the expiry date. You can update the expiry date, and then that will allow the card to continue. It is important to note that we do have some workflows set up inside the system, so please check the installation manual where we can send out automatically a link when a card is about to expire or when the card has failed too many times. This link will go to the cardholder to say, thank you very much for your support. We've attempted to charge your card and have not been successful. Please click on this link to update your details. That would automatically update their card details inside Salesforce. It'll be marked as active and then continue. Alternatively, the cardholder can of course call in and you can update those details. If your organization is one of those organizations that manages a large number of cards, you can also manage these from the list view here, and you can choose, all active cards that are about to expire. From here, you can, call down. You can click on links to update the cards from here. If you're one of those organizations that have a large number of donors or people making regular payments, you can then click on the recurring payments tab. You can then select from the list view, say all suspended max retries exceeded, press go. From here, it gives you a list view of all of those people. You can choose login of a phone call or going through the card update procedures. Now what we'll do is we'll have a little look at some of the setup behind the scenes for regular giving and setting some of the options. When you set up payments to us, you either generated or created a merchant facility. So you go to the merchant facility tab, you can press go, click into your primary merchant facility, and this has details about your organization and bank account. You also have a list here of related payment forms. That allows you to have different types of forms on your website. The ones that we're currently looking at this time is the recurring payment one. So we click into here, and then what we do is we scroll down to the section that's called recurring payments. From here, we can change things like the number of options that we're going to provide to people. So we can choose, twice monthly, fortnightly, annually, etc. And once we do that, that option will then be available on the checkout form. We can change the number of retry attempts. We can also allow people to select which day of the month they'd like to have their card charged. We can do things like, do we charge the card for the very first time when they sign up, or do we just tokenize the card and then allow them to charge the first time on the day that they select the payment? All of these details can be maintained from within inside Salesforce, and you don't need to get access to a web developer. Now, if you are not, you've got a list of donors, people say mailing in, or you've got a application form for a membership or the likes, and you want to create that person inside Salesforce, then you can manually create the recurring payments as well. Obviously the online form is a bit simpler, but this gives you that option. So I'm going to look for an Emma Oscar inside our system, search for the names. I scroll down to the recurring payments related list, and I simply go new here. I choose the type of recurring payment I'm going to be setting up, such as credit card. I go continue, and then from here I enter in all of the key details. I'm going to go Emma. I'm going to mark this as active. I need to select a merchant facility. I'm going to select just the demo one. I'm going to select a payment form because it has the different parameters and things like that on it that I need. I'm going to link that to my regular one. I'm going to say this is going to be $100 and the frequency is going to be monthly. That is all I need to do to set this up. As mentioned earlier, we don't store the cards inside Salesforce. So if you now want to load the card against that recurring record, we go card update details here. We choose the card type, we enter in the card number, the expiry date, and the CCV, and that will enter that within inside Salesforce. Now this record here is ready to have their card charged each month. Thank you very much for listening to this session, and of course there is more online videos and help available from our website.